Where are you? Help us, you promised to help us.
This is your way home.
We go back?
Back?
Yeah.
What makes an action movie great? Is it the relentless explosions? The adrenaline-fueled car chases? Or is it the meticulously crafted world building that makes you feel like you've been dropped straight into chaos? Ladies and gentlemen, today we aren't just talking about any action movie. We are talking about the action movie. A film that didn't just push the boundaries of visual storytelling, it obliterated them. A film that made every Hollywood director sit up, take notes, and whisper, "Oh, we got to step it up." A film that took over 20 years to make, involved custom-built post-apocalyptic war machines, and had stunt performers swinging through the air like deranged Cirque du Soleil acrobats. That's right. We're talking about George Miller's 2015 masterpiece, Mad Max Fury Road. Hi, my name is Indra, and if you're new to this channel, you're welcome. Over here, we talk about 3D animation, VFX, cinematography, the good and the bad of your favorite 3D softwares. Then on a good day, we share free 3D animation courses for first 100 viewers. Oh yeah. If you've not subscribed yet, kindly do so for good luck. If you've ever watched Mad Max Fury Road and thought, wow, I have absolutely no idea what's going on, but I love it, don't worry, you're not alone. The film moves at breakneck speed.
I am awaited in Valhalla!
Cars flip, bodies fly, war boys scream, and explosions erupt like it's the 4th of July on steroids. Yet somehow, you always know exactly where to look, and that, my friends, is no accident. George Miller and his cinematographer, John Seale, didn't just film chaos, they choreographed it. They turned visual bedlam into ballet, and today, we are breaking down how they did it. Now, let's start with a technique that seems simple, but is actually game-changing: center frame composition. Center frame composition is a striking technique where the main subject is placed directly in the middle of the screen. This creates a strong, balanced focus, making scenes feel intense, deliberate, or emotionally charged. It's the opposite of popular rule of thirds, but grabs attention powerfully.
I got it!
One film that also nailed this technique is The Grand Budapest Hotel, where Wes Anderson uses perfect symmetry to create whimsical, storybook-like images. If you pause Fury Road at almost any moment, you'll notice that the most important visual element is almost always in the dead center of the frame. One might be wondering why its centering are well calculated. When things are exploding left, right, and above your head, your eyes don't have time to search the frame for what matters. Miller didn't want you playing "Where's Waldo?" in the middle of a high-speed death chase. By keeping the action centered, your brain instantly locks onto what's important, making the film effortlessly readable, even at insane speeds. Take a closer look at this scene, where Furiosa's war rig is charging through the desert, the horizon is shifting, war boys are dangling off poles, and everything is on fire. But your eyes always land exactly where they should, on Furiosa, on the next immediate threat. This technique was so effective that Steele literally had to train the camera operators to unlearn traditional framing. Usually, cinematographers balance compositions using the rule of thirds. Not here. In The Wasteland, there's always one rule: keep it in the center or lose the audience. Alright, pop quiz. How many frames per second do movies usually run at? 24 FPS, right? That's the golden standard. It's what makes movies look cinematic as compared to videos shot by Grandad. But here's the wild truth. Half of Fury Road isn't at 24 FPS. Yeah, 50 to 60% of the movie has been speed ramped. Oh, these lectures. My people, if you've made it this far, kindly do me the honor of clicking the subscribe button. And so now, what's a speed ramp? Speed ramping is a post-production effect where the frame rate is dynamically adjusted within a single shot. This causes the action to slow down or speed up at key moments. This technique can emphasize motion, impact, choreography, making sequences feel more dramatic and immersive. One well-known movie that utilizes this so well is the movie 300. In 300, speed ramping was crucial to achieving the comic book-inspired visuals drawn from Frank Miller's graphic novel. The process involved 1. Filming at higher frame rates. 2. Strategic slowdowns and speed-ups. And then 3. Enhanced choreographs and aesthetics. And the fourth point is creating a graphical novel look. And this movie's success led to the widespread adoption of speed ramping in Hollywood action films. Now back to Mad Max. Take the moment Furiosa swings her rifle to fire a critical shot. Instead of playing it at full speed, they slow it down just for a second. The reason is to ensure that pause locks your attention onto her movement. It makes the action register in your brain as something important. Then, the moment the shot is fired, we are back to full speed. Now, that's how you control intensity, not by cramming every second with non-stop action, but by manipulating time itself. Let's take a moment to appreciate the color of these scenes. I wouldn't ask what color the apocalypse is because most filmmakers answered gray and lifeless. Post-apocalyptic movies have a reputation for being drenched in desaturated tones, all washed out blues, sickly greens, and 50 shades of depressing brown. Guess what? Judge Miller did something different. He took one look at that Hollywood trend and said, nah, let's make it beautiful instead. And that was it. Mad Max Fury Road became one of the most visually stunning action films of all time. Not in spite of its setting, but because of how it embraced color. Should we break down the color? Yes, let's do it. Most directors treat the apocalypse like a faded photograph, a world drained of color, life, and energy. But Miller and his colorist, Eric Whip, had a different philosophy. Why make a world look dead when you can make it look ferociously alive? Instead of a dull grey wasteland, Fury Road is an assault on the senses. If you look closely at these shots, what you see is 1. Blazing oranges and fiery reds are dominating the desert. This made the world feel like it's on the edge of combustion. 2. Electric blues and steely silvers slice through the sandstorms and night sequences. Now that was to ensure its contrasts are striking. 3. Bright, almost sickly yellow saturate the war boy citadel, and that made their world feel toxic yet mesmerizing. And the result? A post-apocalyptic film that feels hyper-real, as if you are seeing the world through the eyes of someone in survival mode, where every color is heightened, every detail being razor sharp. It's as if Miller thought, the world is ending, might as well make it look good.
The most negative feeling I felt on the film, and it was almost every day, was that sense of anxiety that we were doing big stunts every day. And unless we were really on top of our game, somebody could get hurt, and badly.
Now let's talk about one of the most underrated tricks in the film's visual arsenal: day for night shooting. Most movies shoot night scenes at night, which logically makes sense. But filming in actual darkness, now that's a nightmare. And the reason shouldn't even be communicated because we all know the results. You lose shadow detail. Not only that, you also need tons of artificial lighting. And worst of all, everything turns into a muddy mess where you can barely see what's happening. So, Miller and his team did something smarter. They shot all the night sequences in broad daylight. Yes, you heard that right. All those stunning blue-tinted scenes, the ones where Max and Furiosa cross the airy swamp-like wasteland, they were actually filmed under the full sun. Here's how they did it. 1. They overexposed the footage, capturing way more detail than a typical shot world. 2. Then in the post-production, they crank down the brightness, turning daylight into an otherworldly lit night. And this is what they got. 1. No grainy underlit images. 2. Crisp, clear shadows. 3. A surreal, hyper-stylized night look that feels totally unique. And that was why Fury Road's night scenes don't look like traditional darkness. They feel like something out of a dream. Or more accurately, a nightmare. Alright, let's get nerdy for a second, because if you thought Mad Max Fury Road was shot with just one fancy Hollywood camera, you'd be dead wrong. This wasn't our average local movie. It was a logistical nightmare on wheels. The production team had to capture high-speed chases, bone-crunching stunts, and explosions that could probably be seen from space, all while bouncing over the Namibian desert, often with cameras strapped to moving vehicles. And one might ask, how do you shoot something like that? Before I continue, if you've still not subscribed, kindly do me that favor and subscribe. Most Hollywood blockbusters stick to 1 or 2 types of cameras for consistency, but Fury Road used 4. The Arri Alexa Plus. This camera is widely known for its exceptional cinematic image quality, dynamic range, and industry standard reliability. It is part of the Arri Alexa series, which has been the go-to choice for high-end filmmaking since its release. Also, the Alexa Plus features a high-quality Super 35mm Aleph 3 CMOS sensor, which delivers a natural film-like look with soft highlights, deep shadows. It boasts 14 plus stops of dynamic range, allowing filmmakers to capture incredible details in both bright and dark areas. The Alexa Plus has been used on movies like Skyfall, Life of Pi, The Avengers 2012, and The Revenant 2015. It is also a favorite for high-end TV productions like Game of Thrones. Other cameras such as the Arri Alexa M was used considering its smaller lightweight version, which is ideal for tight spaces and rigging onto moving vehicles. Another camera was the Canon EOS 5D, a DSLR, perfect for getting into places a giant camera wouldn't fit. And then the Olympus Pen EP5, a tiny consumer-level camera, and the reason being that sometimes you just need a shot where $100,000 camera won't survive. Now you might be wondering, why use so many different cameras? This is for you. 1. The Arris gave the Hollywood level quality. And 2. The DSLRs and Olympus cams gave them the flexibility, perfect for mounting on cars, weapons, and even performers. 3. And together, they created a visual language that felt raw, immersive, and unpredictable, just like the world of the film. Look, let's be honest, if you're strapping a camera to a flaming metal spike death machine barreling through the desert, you probably don't want it to be your most expensive one. Now, let's talk about something that might not seem flashy, but completely shaped the look of the film. Lenses and aspect ratio. George Miller wanted Fury Road to feel expansive, immersive, and larger than life. So instead of standard spherical lenses, the team chose anamorphic lenses. But wait, what's an anamorphic lens in the first place? Today. These lenses are specialized cinema lenses that squeeze a wider field of view onto a camera sensor. In simple terms, they horizontally squeeze the image while filming, allowing a much wider frame without cropping, with cinematic aspect ratios 235:1 or 240:1. Some movies which featured these lenses are Interstellar in 2014, The Dark Knight in 2008. That was one great cinematic masterpiece. I love that movie. And Dune in 2021. Considering the qualities of this lens, you'll notice every tight, dramatic shot of Furiosa's eyes feel almost mythic. The lenses compress and intensify facial features, making emotions feel larger than life. And then, when we cut back to wide shots of the endless desert, you feel just how small these characters are against the ruthless burning world around them. And that's visual storytelling at its finest. Now about that aspect ratio. What is an aspect ratio? An aspect ratio refers to the proportional relationship between the width and height of an image or screen. It's expressed in the ratio WH, meaning how wide the image is compared to its height. For example, an aspect ratio of 16:9 means the image is 16 units wide and 9 units tall. The director decided to go with the good old unique aspect ratio 2:35:1, that classic ultra-wide screen format, and this was because they had something bigger than just action envisioned. It's a movie about a journey. The wasteland isn't just a backdrop, it's a character. In one frame, you can see the war rig tearing across an endless horizon. In another, you can feel the claustrophobia of a close-up as sand, sweat, and blood drip from Furiosa's face. And this is what makes Fury Road feel both expansive and intimate at the same time. The aspect ratio controls what you see and what you feel. On this note, I will end here. I have scripts on VFX and CGI, but I'm not motivated to get into that yet. Maybe I will do that subsequently in one of the videos. If you like, share, and subscribe. Until my next video, I am Indra.